Alright, hey friends of the night, let's start with the first mini-story. Possibly a chimera, probably a big fucking cat. Just using everything as we did in the first, or in the main story. The hour is late and the day has been long, really long. The joys of being important, I suppose. Ever since defeating Harry, Lunaris has been, well, fucking boring. Though, I found ways to keep myself entertained.
Come to bed already, will you?
Oh nice, it's still voiced. I'm coming. I regret that immediately. Not yet, but you will be. I still love looking at him shirtless. Once a simp, always a simp. I sigh, far too used to him at this point to let it affect me. I continue removing the weapons I've strapped to my person, putting them safely in my "don't burn your boyfriend" box, and closing the latch. Though, when I turn and find him lying up on the bed, wrapped in dark sheets like a present, I can't stifle my laugh. Finnegan. Yes. He quirks a brow and pats the empty space, my space, and I eagerly slide in beside him. He's quick to settle behind me, wiggling his fingers as I press on my shoulders for a thorough de-stressing. Turns out vampires are exceedingly good in giving messages. Go figure. He nets the knots out of my tense muscles with clever fingers, coaxing a few relatively embarrassing noises out of me. Then I feel him withdrawing his touch and a cold chin finds a home upon my shoulder. How tired are you, exactly? I grin. With no hesitation, I turn to face him, throwing myself on top of him in a mess of limbs and laughter. Strong arms encircle my waist, his lips cold and refreshing, where they press against my fluttering pulse. My job might have become tedious, but coming home to this every night makes up for it in spades. Between a series of greedy kisses, I manage to take his handsome face on my hands, holding him steady and letting that generous glimpse of fang he offers me ignite every single one of my senses. Why? What do you have in mind? I'm grinning because I'm not quite stupid enough to be that ignorant. I just enjoy it when he tells me, in detail. Vivid detail. He growls, a little rumble, settling deep in his chest, and then his mouth is back on mine. His hands are everywhere, mapping every inch of my body, making me feel more invigorated than any cup of coffee or elixir ever could. Then he presses his lips to my ear, and I brace myself.
I'm going to
I don't know who that is, so I'm just gonna use a weird voice. Hunter Everflight?
Fuck!
Okay, that's what you're gonna do. Finn falls back against the mattress and stares at the ceiling, crossing his arms over his chest dramatically, and looking very much like the stereotypical vampire. I lean in and press a kiss to his forehead, knowing I shouldn't keep this particular visitor waiting, and drag myself from the sheets. I grab one of Finn's shirts to pull on as I go. Ah, it's August. August is frowning when I tug open the door. It must be bad if you've dragged yourself down here. They give me the look. I still don't know how you survived down here. I love that option. I quirk an eyebrow at them and open the door further, giving them a view of my very naked boyfriend lying on the bed. August groans and covers their eyes. Yes, lovely. Now, put some clothes on and hurry up. Finn is already gathering my uniform for me when I clear the door and listen to the fading click of August's heels in the corridor. Duty calls. I sigh, setting myself on a broad shoulder as he helps me step into my trousers. Indeed it does.
see you when you get back. I'll be waiting.
I smile at him and say goodbye, knowing he always will be. Piper and I sit and wait to be briefed on this apparently urgent enough to be pulled away from my horribly attractive vampire boyfriend matter. She's just as unenthused as I am, her feet tapping against the floor rapidly, which she lunges in the chair, legs spread. August enters the room, and she makes no effort to sit up, simply frowning a little harder as they take a seat at their desk. I try to be at least a little professional and wipe the thought of Finn waiting for me at home from my mind. Life is so unfair. I still really love the outfit, the new ones. Thank you for coming at such short notice. Yeah, well, what's bloody new, right?
It is your job, you know. I thought you enjoyed stabbing things anyway.
She straightens up at the prospect of getting to fight something.
Oh, so it's that kind of emergency.
And she's smirking. Not another night of you tearfully, drunkenly begging us to help you plan a meeting with some diplomat from the Skana because he's cute? I kick a boot as I spot their cheeks getting pinker by the second. Promised them we'd not speak of that night again. We promised we'd never speak of that night. And we won't. Will we, Piper? She scoffs, leaning forward and reaching across the desk to place her hand on top of August's, offering them a reassuring pat. No, we won't. Then she smirks, and I know that she isn't letting it go. I worry for her life. Send your darling my love in your next letter, won't you? Anyway. They clear their throat and settle back into that familiar, stuffy demeanor. There's a chimera on the loose. Piper groans loudly beside me, throwing her hands in the air as she holds herself out of her chair and begins to pace. I offer them a small smile, one that says, I am terribly sorry for her, but you're used to it by now. Are you sure? Because last time it was a cat, and the time before that, yes, I'm aware. I'm also aware that chimeras are incredibly unpredictable and murderous. They throw Piper a pointed glance. And if we ignore every report that comes in involving a chimera and one actually turns up and gobbles up the townsfolk, they spread their hands and offer me the floor. That would be bad. Yes, it would be very bad. It's always fucking chimeras, isn't it? Can't you sign an order that makes every Lunarian get a bloody eye test? They're all mad. Look, I'm very sorry that this is probably unfounded report has come in at such an hour, but you're my best hunters and I'd very much appreciate if you... We're on it. Don't worry. I stand and take Piper by the elbow, because the faster we get the fuck out of here and find this, whatever this is, the sooner I can get home to Finn. Then I think about his lips and his everything and... Oh, for fuck's sake. I flash her a warning glance and try my hardest to convey my urgency with wide eyes. Piper. She growls through clenched teeth and tosses August a glare as I drag her from their office.
If it is a cat, you're buying drinks for the next month at Friday Club, Willenheim.
I wave at them politely before I close the door. Piper and I step outside with nothing but a hastily scribbled pile of reports in our hands. The first report says that there was an unusual activity in the forest.
Unusual activity in Lunaris, a town teeming with creepy creatures. What a revelation.
I smirk at her and knock her shoulders with mine in passing. Come on, the sooner we get this done, the sooner we can go. She sidesteps alongside me, a mischievous look on her face. How's things with living dead boy? I cast her a sideway glance. Why do you ask? And then the all too familiar howl of a creature rings out.
Fuck.
Do chimeras howl? But I guess they can do everything, cause like, it's just a mixture of different creatures, right? I look to the skies, but I already know there's no full moon until tomorrow, and our lichen treaties are solid thanks to August. There's only one other creature beside a lichen that could make such a noise. So maybe we do have a chimera? Let's dash. Pepper spins on her heel and unsheathes her daggers, heading for the tree line. I pocket the reports and follow suit. Sure enough, the forest seems off. That's not saying a lot for Lunaris, but this particular area of the forest is in a sorrier state than usual. There's fresh, deep wells clawed into the tree trunks, and portions of the forest floor are upturned as if something was trying to bury deep. And we got, once again, those eyes. Piper and I close our eyes, standing in the center of the clearing in total silence. I let my other senses take over, my heart slowing, my fingers tingling. I can feel a creature nearby, but it feels... You've got to be fucking kidding me. It's then that I see our culprit. Two glowing crimson eyes peeking from behind a tree, far too small to conceal all 6 foot 2 of him and his stupid bushy tail.
Get out of here, you splendid moron, so I can clip you about both sets of ears.
What's all they yelling about?
I'm just out here minding my own damn business. Can't a man take a walk around here anymore?
Yohanda's always ruining my life, especially you. He jabs a finger in Piper's direction, and for a second, I think she might snap it off. Nah, no fighting. When these two are in the same room, the only thing they can quell their burning hatred for each other is a pissing match. And tonight, I don't have the patience or the energy, so I smoothly step between them. We're here on an investigation which I'd very much like to solve so I can get home to my boyfriend. So, these claw marks and burrows. Have you seen any sign of a chimera? Alkar's cheek turned pink. Bright pink. Oh, he looks so cute when he blushes. Alkar? Seriously? This mess was you? He throws his hands up in the air, his tail lashing wildly behind him.
It's the night before the full moon, isn't it?
I sigh, taking the first report out of my pocket and tearing it to shreds. It's fine, it's not your fault. Piper, on the other hand, is less sympathetic. Her laughter can probably be heard back at headquarters. Alkar pows a little harder, his tail now wagging so furiously that it's a mere blur. I try to reassure him. This is perfectly normal. It happens to every lichen. I know that.
Now, can you please piss off? If I don't dig some more holes, I think I might combust.
Oh. The thing is, I would have to laugh too. I would be totally Piper in that moment. I cringe as Piper begins to laugh again. Report number 2 says something about a strange figure being spotted lurking in the graveyard. Again, not entirely unusual for a town like Lunaris, and I can't help but feel like we're truly being taken on a wild goose chase. We circle the headstones and look for clues, nothing in particular indicating that a creature like a chimera could have passed through. They're not exactly subtle.
I can sense nothing other than a bunch of bones. You?
I shrug. Same. Another dead end.
Ha! Nice. Love a good graveyard joke.
I am checking out with a vampire. He's taught me more than a few. My feet are starting to hurt, and so's my head. Almost 24 hours without sleep will do that to you, I suppose. I can see Piper struggling too, her usual confident stance turning into a sleepy slump. Sleepy slump. Say that fast and 3 times. Do you think we should split up? Piper sighs and kicks aside a hefty stone, sending it hurtling into the forest. I guess it could help. I could hit up clue 3 while you hang out there for a bit. I grab report number 3 out of the pile and hand it to her, eyeing a particularly comfortable spot in the grass I might just take a quick break on. Deal. Meet me back at headquarters after. You've got it, Bill, boss. I roll my eyes and watch as she powers on, heading toward the deserted ABAC. It's deserted? So Amoros is gone? I settle down in the grass, a gentle breeze rustling the canopy of trees that hang over me. The stars are bright and abundant as I lay back and gaze up at the skies, and with little effort, I find myself drifting off. Probably not a good idea, really. This is a graveyard, after all. But I just can't stop myself. I don't know how long I doze off for, but when I wake up, I do so to the sound of something flapping around my head. I sit up fast, my head and my heart pounding, and I hear a muted giggle coming from somewhere in the graveyard. I stand and clutch for the dagger I keep on my holster as I see a hulking shadow out of the corner of my eye. Fuck. I lunge, slashing blindly into the darkness, and I hit a cloud of thick black smoke that dissipates upon contact. I hear another giggle, and the smoke curls in on itself and begins to float away, almost as if it's daring me to follow. So, like the heroic idiot I am, I oblige. Where to? Ooh, back to the catacombs. I chase it halfway across town and down into the depths of the catacombs, and the smoke comes to a standstill. Then it materializes into something that most definitely isn't a chimera. I suddenly realize why I had a strange feeling I recognized that high-pitched giggle. Hey, good looking. Raven, why? She shrugs. Spotted you napping and thought you could do with a little something to get you back on your toes. Not mad, are you? I sigh and put my daggers away when she eyes it pointedly, almost forgetting I was holding it all together. No, I'm not mad. Finn will be, though. I was looking for a creature. There was a report of something big and scary lurking in the graveyard. Her red eyes lighten up, practically glowing in the dull candlelight. Scary, you say? Good to know, my hard work paid off. Raven, what do you mean? She wiggles her fingers in front of my face. Been working on some new farms, so this is my biggest yet. Oh, great. So another death report then. Wonderful. I see. Then Raven stiffens up, her expression growing serious. Uh-oh. Then I hear footsteps. Please don't tell him. Hello, lover. Home so soon? Not quite. I offer him an awkward smile, and I know he's instantly suspicious, his golden eyes flickering between Raven and me. What did she do? Raven looks at me and winks, grinning devilishly. It's also interesting that we can't keep quiet. We can either tell Finn ourselves or make Raven tell him. Then let's do that. I can't just stand here and lie to his face. Literally, we're connected now. My thoughts are basically his, and his are mine. Perks of a vampire boyfriend. Also, this isn't the first time Raven has scared the living daylights out of our town folks recently. I didn't expect to gain a 400-year-old daughter who can turn into a bat, and now apparently other things when I started dating Finn. But here we are. However, I don't have to be the one to be the bad guy here. She is literally the bad guy. Raven, I think you should tell him. Tell me what? Fine. Raven hooks her arm through his and cozies up to him, sighing deeply as she flutters her lashes. See, the thing is that I might have found a new form to play in. We've asked you so many times. Come on, I get bored sometimes when Lux is working. What's a girl supposed to do when you two spend all your time together, huh?
You're forgiven. Just don't do it again.
That was fast. Then playfully swats her away, side-eyeing her brutally as she waves at me and skips off down the corridor, disappearing into the darkness. You okay? I grumble, moving in to wind my arms around his neck for a moment to reprieve. Haven't happened to see a chimera knocking about anywhere, have you? He huffs a laugh, rubbing his hand over my back in a soothing drag. I'd certainly know if there was one here. The whole clan would. I pull away and frown at him. Horrible smelly things. Could sense one a mile off. I know, but we keep getting reports of one being sighted all over town. Is it not just a really big cat again? I have a laugh, thinking that it probably most definitely is. Yeah, at this point, it has to be. He then presses a kiss to my forehead, a cold finger curling under my chin to lift my head up.
I miss you. Hurry home.
I mean, it's not far. That's all the motivation I need to find this fucking cat. I take a path through the deserted market on my way back to headquarters. No one reports to gaze upon for clues. No more, nothing. At least the citizens of Lunaris are safe and tucked up in their beds if a horrible three-headed monster does pop out of the shadows. I look up at the stars and take a deep breath, filling my lungs with fresh air, and I smile. Despite a total waste of my night, I still feel like at least I've done my job. And then, a quiet meow. Is it Ezra's familiar? Coco? Thank you for bringing her back. I was so worried. She's been gone for hours now. I smile at Ezra, watching Coco weave between his feet, her tail flicking against his calves. No problem at all. I guess she's pretty lucky there wasn't a chimera out there. Oh, she'd be fine if there was. I look at Coco and see the wise, magical glimmer in her wide eyes, and I think that she definitely would stand her own against such a beast. Maybe she's a chimera. Then I wonder if maybe she did cause a little trouble on her travels. Are you okay? Do you want some tea? His green eyes glisten at the prospect of offering hospitality, but I'm dying to get home to Finn. I'll pass tonight, thank you. Plus, it's stupid o'clock. Aren't you tired? Beyond exhausted, but you know, I can't resist offering. Then I leave you to it. Thank you. Good night, Ethan. Good night, Ezra. After meeting up with Piper back at the office and debriefing, I drag myself across town and back home. Finally. There often isn't a greater sight than Finn at the end of a long day, but I somehow find it in me to appreciate it a little harder tonight.
Please tell me you're here to stay this time.
Who could say no? I quickly begin to shed my uniform and Finn chuckles, getting his answer. Excellent. He falls back onto the bed with a bounce and lunges on his side, chucking the book he was reading onto the side table. Do you want to talk about it? I shake my head profusely. Absolutely fucking not. Very well. Then he pulls the silky sheets back and pats my spot, his smile soft. Then come, rest. Oh, resting is so lame. Adrenaline still dances in my veins despite the uneventful evening I had, so... I crawl into my bed, my bottom lip tucked between my teeth, and I will him to read my mind. I have other ideas, actually. His pointy ears wiggle and he perks up, his lashes dipping. I watch as his fangs crest over his lips, a chill rolling down my spine.
Is that so? Care to elaborate?
Instead, I climb into his lap, resting my hands upon his pale chest and feeling the stark absence of his heartbeat. His skin is cool and soft, and the feel of him beneath my palms chases away every useless thought. When his hands take hold of my waist, I feel safe, and when his lips find mine, I nearly lose my mind. By now, I can probably narrate every trace of his clever tongue and curl of his fingertips, every touch undulating through me like a wave. He kisses me full and slow and deep, and the sharp shadows of the flickering candlelight wash over him and paint him gold. I really can't believe This is my life sometimes. I never be over the fact that he's mine. Tomorrow will always come too soon when basking in moments like this, but for now, I lose myself in the hard press of his body against my own, every movement a revelation. Everything is Finn. I suppose that Lunaris isn't quite so boring after all. Yeah, and that's the end of the first short story. I hope you enjoyed that one.